Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel, and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror, the card game, where we're currently playing the Dunwich Legacy campaign. We are on our fifth scenario, which is Blood on the Altar. Our intrepid investigators are Zoe Samaras and Daisy Walker. They have found the hidden chamber. Zoe has gone down into it, and she has seen a horrible sight. Silas Bishop has been turned into some massive, horrible monster, and he's lurking down there. We have got to sort it out. We've either got to get a load of clues out of the hidden chamber, or we've got to kill Silas Bishop. But it's not going to be easy, especially if I keep making mess-ups. So we'll deal with those just before we go into episode 31. Now, somebody did mention that perhaps Zoe should have got a resource when she actually engaged the Silas Bishop. And I thought so too, and I was going to give her one till somebody else pointed out that he is massive. Because he is a massive monster, she doesn't actually get the resource. Why is that? Well, her getting a resource is actually a reaction. It's like her using her cross. That's a reaction, you know, to deal 1 damage. And it doesn't work on massive monsters, because massive monsters do not become engaged with you. Massive monsters are considered engaged with you. Yes, what a miserable set of beggars they are. Can you believe that that stops you getting a resource? But apparently so. Quite why it has to be like that, I don't know. It seems incredibly mean-spirited, but that's the case. So unfortunately, she didn't get that resource. I'd forgot to do it anyway. So in my forgetting to do it, I actually played it correctly. But I still think that's pretty miserable of the game designers, don't you? Oh no, you can't do that because it's considered. You haven't become engaged. Bloody ridiculous, but that's the way it is. One thing I did get wrong, however, was I played Guts during the last episode, and of course, if this test is successful, you get to draw a card. I didn't. I did it later on for, I think she played Overpower, and I did that correctly, but Guts, I forgot. So she is due another card. So what do we get? Ooh, that's upside down. She gets Dodge. Well, this could come in handy. Not so much for the Whippoorwill, because it's aloof anyway, but yeah, that could be pretty... In fact, that could stop an enemy attack. So if we get into... That could stop a Silas Bishop attack. So yes, we'll use that. That's very useful. It's an event. Costs 1. It's got a willpower icon, an agility icon, and yes, tactic, and it's fast as well, so we can leave that until the enemy phase. So that's good. That is good for our plan. So that's a great card, actually. That's a great card to get. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so I think that is it for correction. Oh, one other slight thing. I did exhaust the Necronomicon. That is completely in error. It's an action. Yes, so I didn't have to turn it round. Doesn't matter, didn't make any difference. Just, I won't be turning it round in future. I got it confused, obviously, with Old Book of Law, which you do exhaust. Yeah, so that is it for correction. So let's get straight into episode 31. And that means, oh yes, it's the laugh and the chuckle phase. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase, and that means a doom. So we've got our first doom. The limit is 7, so we are okay for the time being, but that's not going to last. Alright, so we've done the doom. Next up, it is encounter cards. So first one goes to our lead investigator, who is Zoe. What does she get? The Servant of Many Mouths. Oh, all the monsters are coming out now, aren't they? So let's have a look. So, oh, look at that as well. Combat 3. It's got 2 health, that's okay. And mind you, it's quite easy to evade. It's only 1 to evade. It's humanoid. Spawn, any empty location. Oh, so it goes to an empty location. That's good. It does have retaliate, but we're sticking in an empty location. As a reaction, after you defeat Servant of Many Miles, discover one clue at any location. So that might be useful. Now, it's not a hunter, so I think what we'll do is we won't send it right to the other side of the map. I think we'll put it at the house in the reeds. The reason for that is we might just want to pop up there in order to kill it and get this clue, because it is one clue at any location. So we could pick up one of those clues that is in the chamber. Probably won't have to do that, but let's not put it too far away just in case we do. So we'll put it here. It's not a hunter, so we don't have to bother about it following us around, but we'll pop it up there just in case we do have to kill it. Right, that was it for Zoe. And our next encounter card is... This is for Daisy. Oh, not another Whippoorwill. No! Oh, they're all coming out now. So, yeah, we've seen the Whippoorwill before. This is the pain. These might have the cumulative as well. So it's going to join us at the schoolhouse, and we're going to get, it's going to be -2 intellect, -2 willpower, -2 combat, and -2 agility. Oh, that is horrendous. 2 Whippoorwills. Well, at least we haven't had to roll anything, but we're going to have to kill them, aren't we? We can't. 1 you can possibly get away with, you know, and just take our chances, but 2, oh, I wanted to go into the chamber. Can I afford to give him the runaround for just a turn or 2? Right, I'll have a think about that. That's the end of the mythos phase. Bloody Whippoorwills, I hate them. I'll have a think, and yes, I'll have to decide something before the investigation phase. Okay, that is it for the mythos phase. Next up is the investigation phase. And here we are at the investigation phase. Made my decision, we're gonna risk it for a biscuit. At least for this round, we'll see how we go on. I think if we're gonna do it, we've got to do it now. So let's do it now. I wouldn't do it if we had a lot less health and a lot less sanity, but you know, if the worst comes to the worst, we can get out the hidden chamber and then set about trying to kill them out here. If things get really bad, because what struck me, I've just been thinking about it, what struck me is we've still got the O'Banian gang, haven't we? We had to put them in at the beginning, the encounters, and I'm sure we've had 1, at the most 2 of the O'Banian gang come out, so they must be in there. So there could be a shed load of monsters waiting to come out. And if that is the case, then we're just going to have to resign, unfortunately. Zoe will do what she can, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that in order to play machete, because she'll definitely need a machete if a load of monsters start coming out of the encounter deck. But yes, we've got a real problem with those Whippoorwills now because of the -2, because of the cumulative. We could split the investigators up and send 1 after 1 and 1 after the other, but that's just, we're just using up actions then. So it may be, yeah, that we'll have to go to the village commons and resign. It's unfortunate, but let's get into the hidden chamber, and we'll just try and give them the runaround, because if they keep having to follow us in the enemy phase, okay, we've got -2 during the encounter phase when we're pulling cards out of here, but yeah, we'll just have to we'll have to make a decision. If it gets really bad, we'll either try and kill them or we'll go to the village commons and resign. That is just that is really unlucky, I think, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, our first player is Zoe. So what Zoe's going to do is she's going to spend her first action and she is going to move. So she's going to move into here. Not really got much space, so we'll just pop her on there. And that means that obviously Silas Bishop becomes engaged with her. So we'll put him across there because Daisy's going to go in there as well. And obviously, because he's massive, he's going to be engaged with the pair of them. Right, so that is Silas engaged with Zoe. We're not going to bother with the flashlight and stuff. I think our best way to get any victory points now is... I mean, we will try and pick up some clues, but I think killing Silas is probably our best bet. So we're engaged with Silas. So for our second action, what we're going to do is we're going to fire the Colt at him. So we're going to fire a bullet again. That is going to be a combat of 5 versus a combat of 3. Can we improve that? I think, yes, we can, but whether to do it or not. Shall we spend Zoe's cross? That would make it a 7 versus 3. Because we get 2 combat icons. And whoop, flipped him. We get, so that'd be +3 because we've got the wild card icon. Am I going to use Zoe's cross? I don't think we are, you know. So yes, we're going to commit that. So that is going to make it, that's 8, isn't it? Because that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 versus 3. I'm just wondering whether to use double or nothing. That'd be 8 versus 6. I could make it 9 versus 6 if I commit it. Yeah, committing this. That'd make it 8. That'd make it 9 versus 6 if we spent double or nothing, which would make it 10 versus 6. And that could possibly put 4 damage on it, I think. So, let's just go through that again. We're firing at it with the Colt. We've got 4 combat, +1 for the Colt. Oh no, that's +1 damage for the Colt, sorry. So it's 4 versus 3. We spend Zoe's cross, makes it 7 versus 3. We commit... If it bleeds, makes it 8 versus 3. And if we play double or nothing, it would become 9 versus 6. And a -3 or better. Now is, yeah, we're going to try and kill Silas. So that is what we're going to do. It is now 9 versus 6. We need a -3 or better. And we get... Ooh, a cultist. What's that? Please be enough. -2. Yay! Fantastic. So we have done that. Oh. So there we go. We got rid of Zoe's cross. We committed if it bleeds as well. And we've got double or nothing, which means we've doubled the difficulty of the skill test, so it went up to 6. If this skill test is successful, resolve the effects of the successful test twice. So the first time we got +1 for +1 damage for the Colt, plus the damage that we got anyway, that's 2, and we get that twice, so that is 4 damage. That is 4 damage. Whoop, he says dropping his token. That is great. We're up to 7 damage. And we still have an action left. I'm wondering whether to move Zoe back. No, we're going to keep her there. We're going to keep her there, and that means she may as well attack again. So, but this time, obviously, I don't have as much stuff. But we may as well go for it. So, she's going to spend another bullet. So that is 4 versus 3. We're not going to throw anything at it, so it's just 4 versus 3. Come on. A -1 or better. We need it. Come on. Yes! That's another +1. So that's 2, and it's +1. Yes! So +1, and it deals an extra damage. So that is another 3 damage. Yeah, I think kill Silas. That's what we're going to do. So it's now got 10 damage. We only need to do 2 more damage. Remember, it's got 12. So, yeah, that is cool. Oh, well done, Zoe. Pulling it out of the bag there. Brilliant stuff. Right, that is it for Zoe. And remember, she has dodge. And I think that is going to help us because we're going to have Daisy. We're going to use that with Daisy. I think we can. Let's just check. Yes, fast. Play when an enemy attacks an investigator at your location. So we can use it on Daisy's behalf. And poor old brother Xavier, he can... in fact, if we don't play that and brother Xavier takes the damage, we could kill Silas this turn, I think. That's something else to think about. Anyway, that is it. That was her final action. So, next it is Daisy Walker. And here we are with Daisy. Yes, we've got some thinking to do here. So for her first action, I think what we will do is she will move as well. So she is going to move. And she will pop here. And obviously she is going to do some investigating. So let's get down to her player area and see exactly what she's going to do. And here we are at Daisy's player area. I've managed to keep everything in shot, I think, just about. Alright, so, yes. Now, what we've done is we've used double or nothing already. My original plan before Whippoorwills started coming out of the woodwork was to use double or nothing during the investigation phase and get some of these clues. We're going to still get some of these clues, but I really think we've got to kill Silas. I don't think we will have the time to pick up all these clues. So it's unfortunate, but I think that is the sensible play. Okay, so what's she going to do is, well, let's make sure that we do pick up at least a couple of clues. Why not? So we will use her free tome action, and that means we will use Encyclopedia, and as an action, we'll exhaust it, choose an investigator, we're going to choose ourselves, and we're going to get +2 to intellect. So we exhaust that. So now what we've got 1 intellect, 2 intellect, and so that's 7 intellect. And it's 7 versus 3, 9 versus 3. So I don't think we need to commit any cards or anything. So 9 versus a shroud of 3. So basically it's just do not get a... Oh, next action. So it's basically just do not get the old tentacle. And, oh, blimey, come on, Paul. Nearly forgot again. We're obviously going to play deduction as well as a skill, which makes it a 10. So it's 10 versus 3. And this skill test is successful while investigating a location. Discover 1 additional clue at that location. So we're going to play that as well. So 10 versus 3, and we get a 0. So I think we can safely say we pass that, which means we get 2 clues. 1, 2. Get rid of deduction. And yes, so we've got at least 2 clues. That leaves us 10 to get rid of, but like I said, I really don't think we're going to be able to get rid of 10. We are going to go again. Remember, Encyclopedia lasts for the whole turn. So that is going to be 9, because we're not using deduction this time. So that is going to be 9 versus 3. Same deal, so long as we don't get a tentacle, we will pick up a clue, and we get +1. You see, like when you've got a 10 versus 3, that's when you start getting 0s and +1s, isn't it? So we get another clue. So there we go, 3 clues. And that is it. That was her final action. And yes, we are down in the hidden chamber with the beast. So we're going to see what happens, but we do have dodge, so that should help us out. And if we let Brother Xavier take it on the chin, then that deals 2 damage to an enemy. And yes, we could kill Silas Bishop this turn, and we might do that. But while I cogitate on that, upload this particular round and just check for any errors. I'll be back shortly, and you'll see what I've decided. What am I talking about? It was only the end of the investigation phase. I got loads of stuff to do yet. That's through wittering on. Okay, right, so the enemy phase. And yes, there's going to be a lot going on. What we'll do first, before we move the whippoorwills, is we'll deal with old Silas. He's engaged with us, so we'll do him first. Now, Silas is obviously going to attack, so we've got to make the decision now. Are we going to sort of expend Brother Xavier? Well, we are initially, because Silas is, first of all, he's going to attack Zoe. And he deals 2 damage and 2 horror. And those are going to go on Brother Xavier. Doesn't kill him yet. So we'll pop those on there. And 2 horror when I can dig them out. So Brother Xavier has taken 1 for the team. Good on him. And that means that obviously Silas is now going to attack Daisy Walker. But Zoe is going to spend a resource. And she is going to play dodge because it's fast. And you can play when an enemy attacks an investigator at your location and cancel that attack. She is cancelling that attack. So she's just shoving, like, Daisy out of the way. Or perhaps, you know, Brother Xavier has shoved Daisy out of the way. And poor old Brother Xavier has took that damage. So there we go. Dodge. And that is it for the enemy phase as far as Silas is concerned, but not the whippoorwills. Servant of Many Mouths doesn't move, he just stays where he is. He's not a hunter, but the whippoorwills are hunters, and they're going to move. And obviously we'll plonk them here. And it's getting a bit busy, but c'est la vie. So we've got 2 whippoorwills there causing us a problem. And they'll cause us a big problem during the encounter phase. But during the encounter phase, I think we could take, you know, a certain amount of damage and stuff. We're 8 and 4 here. We're 7 and 5 over here. And even if we get, you know, something really horrendous, I think we've got the wherewithal to kill Silas. And as soon as you kill Silas, I think that will be the end of the scenario. So it's just to see, you know, if we can get a few more clues, that's all. And why not? Why not do it that way? It may come to bite me in the bum, we shall see. There's probably a load of you like shouting at the TV now, what are you doing? Just kill it! But that's what we've done. Okay, so I think that is it for the enemy phase, and next up it is the upkeep phase. And here we are at the upkeep phase. So first things first, let's unexhaust Encyclopedia and give ourselves some actions back. There we are. Then we get to draw some cards. So Zoe first. Whoop. Wish you could have 2 cards, Zoe, but you can only have 1. First aid, excellent card. So uses 3 supplies. First aid has no supplies, discard it. Action, spend 1 supply, heal 1 damage or horror from an investigator at your location, and it costs 2. She doesn't have 2 at the moment, but that is soon to change because it's the upkeep phase. So now she does have 2. Remember, she didn't get a resource off Silas, because he's massive. And you don't end up getting a resource if you are Zoe, because it's a reaction. Right, that is it for Zoe. Daisy. What does she get? Shortcut. Awesome. So this could be really good. Costs nothing, and it is a willpower icon, agility icon, shortcut, insight tactic, fast, play during your turn, choose an investigator at your location, move that investigator to a connecting location. You know this town like the back of your hand. What, Dunwich? You've only just arrived. But there we go, we'll pop that there. Yes. Oh, you know what? I could have played Drawn to the Flame, couldn't I? And got 2 clues. Okay, it'd have been an extra encounter, but that's what I should have done. Because if we got a horrible encounter, what we could have done then is we could have just decided to kill Silas during the enemy phase, couldn't we? Yeah, so I missed a trick there. Should have played Drawn to the Flame during her turn, you know, rather than just a normal investigation. But there you go, just one of those things. Forgot to do it. Right, that is it. Oh no, she gets a result. In fact, she gets 2 resources. Why does she get 2? In fact, she gets 3, doesn't she? Yes, Dr. Milan Christopher. She succeeded at 2 investigations, so she gets 2 off Dr. Milan Christopher. And she gets 1 now, because it's the upkeep phase. So, nearly forgot Dr. Milan Christopher again. So, she's got plenty of resources, but not a great deal to spend them on, really. And yeah, that is it for the upkeep phase. Now I will go away and upload this, and yes, we will see if I've made any errors. Then I'll come back and hopefully we will polish off Silas Bishop. But we'll have another go at trying to get some of these clues. If we do okay on the encounter phase, remember we've got 2 whippoorwills with us, so that's going to be pretty grim. But if we do okay, if we manage to scrape through that, perhaps we'll have Daisy go first. And if she makes some real inroads into those clues, then we can sort of make a call on what we're going to do. We'll probably move Daisy, and with her last action, into the schoolhouse. And then we'll make a choice with Zoe. But yes, okay, right, I'll go and upload this. I will be back shortly. And here we are at the laugh and chuckle phase. It's round 58. Right, yes, I think we're just going to have to kill him, you know. And it's not ideal. It's, especially with the Necronomicon here, the Aulus Wormius translation, it would be really good if we could get all those clues, but I don't think we're going to do it. Anyway, we'll crack on. We'll see how far we can get. So, Mythos phase, that means a doom. So we're up to 2, that's okay. 7 is the limit. If only we didn't have all these monsters. I said it right at the beginning, didn't I? We weren't getting enough monsters coming out, and they're just coming out all the time now. We must have a shed load in there. Got all these O'Banian thugs and all sorts that are in there. So, yeah, we're in a real pickle now, I think. It's a good job that Zoe was on the ball. She's pulled, what is it, 2 Elder Signs, and that's really helped against Silas Bishop. I think we'd have probably killed him anyway without those, but that extra 2 damage has really helped us out. Okay, so it's going to be Zoe first because she's lead investigator. So she gets, what does she get? An O'Banian's Thug. So look at that, 4 combat as well. 2 health, 2 evade, human criminal syndicate. While O'Banian's Thug is engaged with you, you cannot gain resources. So we're not even going to get a resource. We'll put him there. He's not massive. Bet he's got more than he bargained for, hasn't he? Running into this hidden chamber. So, join Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop? Mr. Thug. And then we've got to draw a card for Daisy. And Daisy gets... Oh, I'd forgotten about these. The bloody hunting night gaunts. They're in it as well. Oh, no. We should be alright, actually. We'll have this finished before the... Well, hopefully we'll have this finished before the enemy phase, so we should be okay. So this is 3 combat, 4. Damn it! 4 health. It's 1 to evade, Monster Night Gaunt. It's a hunter. While attempting to evade Hunting Night Gaunt, double the negative modifier of each revealed Chaos token. Ooh. They have no faces at all to smile with, but only a suggestive blankness where a face ought to be. H.P. Lovecraft. So it does 1 horror and 1 damage. What does the O'Banian Thug do? 2 damage. So there we go, look at all that lot. And the Whippoorwills as well. I suppose the one good thing about drawing monsters is at least we haven't had to go to the Chaos bag. But, yeah, bad. Yes, I think that has put paid to any ideas we had about picking up the clues. We're just going to have to finish off Silas now, I think. So rather than have Daisy go first, we're going to swap back to Zoe going first. Let's go to the investigation phase and let's see if she can put Silas out of his misery. And here we are with Zoe. I think I've managed to get most of it in. Alright, so what we're going to do? Well, we've really got to kill him off. Silas Bishop. Now, it'd be really difficult because we've got 2 Whippoorwills there, which are giving us -2 on combat. So if we just shoot at it, there's not much chance. I mean, we've got 3 bullets, we've got 3 actions, and what was it? Would be 4 versus... 4... Not 4, would be 2 versus 3, and we'd need a +1 or an elder sign. She has got a few elder signs recently, but you can guarantee that when we need it, we're not going to get one. So I think what we'll do is we'll have to be a bit canny, and we're going to do that. We're going to use Brother Xavier's special ability, and there is a way we can use it. Even though the Silas Bishop doesn't give us attacks of opportunity, O'Banian's Thug will. So what we're going to do as our first action is we're going to draw a card, and we get the Elder Sign Amulet. So we've seen that before. We'll put it up here, it's an asset. But in doing that, we haven't tried to evade a monster, and we haven't tried to attack a monster, and we haven't resigned or anything like that, which means we provoke an attack of opportunity from the O'Banian's Thug. So that does 2 damage. We're going to take 1, so that'll put us down to 6. So we take 1 damage. That puts us down to 6. And the other damage is going to be taken by Brother Xavier, and that's his 3rd point of damage. And if we just read here, when Brother Xavier is defeated, which is now, deal 2 damage to an enemy at your location. That is all it says. It does not have to be the Thug. It could be any enemy at that location. It could be the Whippoorwills, could be the Thug, could be the Hunting Night Gaunt. They are all at that location. But obviously he's going to put his 2 damage onto Silas Bishop. So we'll discard him. He's been defeated. And we put the final 2 damage onto Silas Bishop, and he dies. So that is fabulous. Doesn't matter he's massive or anything like that. The reaction is just when he's defeated. Yeah, so he can put the... Doesn't have to be engaged with anybody or anything. The reaction is just put 2 damage on any monster at your location. Silas is at his location. He's going to choose him. So in a final act of defiance, Brother Xavier, in order to... It's just like chaos. You know, the O'Banian's Thug's there. He's like arrived. The Hunting Night Gaunt's arrived. You know, there's a shot in the chamber and wings Zoe, and it manages to get Brother Xavier, and Brother Xavier with his last act manages to put 2 damage on to the horrible Silas Bishop, and he has gone. So as soon as he's defeated, what we've got to do is we have to look at the act. And down here, objective, if Silas Bishop is defeated, we go straight to resolution 1. So that is what we're going to do. Unfortunately, we can't flip the card over. We'd flip the card over if we'd got all the clues, but we didn't get all the clues, and that's unfortunate because it's pretty good. But we don't get that, unfortunately, but we have killed Silas. Now, Silas has got, what's he got? 2 victory points. So let's get a die, because I don't want to forget that. Yeah. So we got 2 victory points. Woo! Put that on there. So at least we got something out of it. Now, we've got to read Resolution 1, so I've just got to dig out our fabulous rules, printed on such high quality. Look at it, it's bloody rubbish. Anyway, so here they are. So no resolution. We did get a resolution. Resolution 1. So here we go. As you land, the finishing blow, the creature's body explodes into hundreds of squirming rope-like appendages, wriggling across the ground and climbing up the walls. You're so startled that you aren't fast enough to prevent them from escaping the room. Even so, whatever that creature was, you're glad it's now dead. So, first of all, in your campaign log, record that the investigators put Silas Bishop out of his misery. Hurrah! In your campaign log, under Sacrifice to Yog-Sothoth, record the names of each unique card that is underneath the agenda deck. Each of those cards are removed from all players' decks and can no longer be included in any player's decks for the remainder of the campaign. Right. So, who was it? Remember, there was 4 of them. I think it was Henry, Warren, Zebulon, and Earl. So, who was it? Here they are. Those are the 2 that got selected. And who was sacrificed to Yog-Sothoth? Oh, Professor Rice. He was sacrificed. So, remember, he got kidnapped at the university, I think. So, he was the first to be sacrificed, unfortunately. He's pretty good as well. +1 intellect. As a reaction, you could discover the last remaining clue in your location and exhaust Professor Warren Rice to draw a card. Good damage soak, good horror soak. Yes, he was a good card. But he's been sacrificed, along with... Oh, poor old Earl! Smarter than he lets on! So, it was pretty good as well. +1 agility, we could have done with that. We're low on agility, Daisy and Zoe. As a reaction, when you evade an enemy, exhaust Earl Sawyer, draw a card. And he was a good damage soak and horror soak too. But they all seem to cost 3, so... yeah, perhaps they're all pretty similar. So those are the 2 we have lost. They have been defeated and sacrificed, so we can not use them. They will not form any part of the campaign. And that means, I think it's Zebulon and Henry have survived. Let's just check. Yeah, Dr. Henry Armitage, the head librarian, has survived. We've seen him before. He only costs 2, actually. 2 wildcard icons, and as a reaction, do you draw a card, discard that card, and exhaust Henry Armitage. Game through resources, that's pretty good. And yes, Zebulon! Recalling ancient things! So he's 3. He was a cost of 3 like the other asset. Willpower icon, wildcard icon, +1 willpower, that's good. Reaction, after you succeed at a willpower test on a treachery card, exhaust Zebulon, Waitley, and draw a card. Oh, he's excellent. Look at that. 4 horror soak. That's good. So these 2 have survived. I'll put them to one side. Good. Right, so we know who got sacrificed and who didn't. Let's move back to this. Here we are. If an investigator with the Necronomicon, Aulus Wormius translation, in his or her deck was defeated, well, that's Daisy and we weren't defeated, so that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't get stolen. That's cool. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. So that's just Silas, so we got 2 victory points. That's pretty good. Each investigator earns 2 bonus experience as he or she gains insight to the hidden world of the mythos. So that's cool. So we actually get 4. Awesome. So, woohoo! Top. And proceed to Interlude 2, The Survivors. So I think that's on the last page, if I recall correctly. It is. Right, Interlude 2, The Survivors. Inside the chamber that contained the terrible beast, you find the missing townsfolk and others from Arkham. They are bound and shackled. You also find several documents that suggest the creature you found isn't the only one of its kind in Dunwich. You free the creature's victims from their bonds, and they offer you their thanks. You begin to plan your next move. Check campaign log. For each of the following 5 characters who are not listed under Sacrifice to Yog-Sothoth, read their associated passage. When you are done, proceed to Scenario 5, Undimensioned and Unseen. So, Henry is not listed, so we can read him. It is far worse than we had thought, Dr. Armitage says, pale and trembling. Wilbur Whately was only the beginning. There were more, many more, in Dunwich who knew of the great old ones, and who desired power and knowledge above all else. The earth be damned. I knew I should have burned that wretch's journal, but thanks to its contents, I now know how we can stop them. We are the only ones who can. Now quickly, help me with this solution. The powder is the key. Yes, the powder is the only way. In your campaign log, record that Dr. Henry Armitage survived the Dunwich legacy. If the Dr. Henry Armitage card is not already in an investigator's deck, any one investigator may choose to add that card, coolness, to his or her deck. It does not count towards the investigator's deck size. If the Powder of Ibn Ghazi card is not already in an investigator's deck, any one investigator may choose to add that card to his or her deck. It does not count towards the investigator's deck size. Excellent. Powder of Ibn Ghazi, that is over here. Let's have a quick look at that. Ooh, it was in the cards we had to set aside, so it costs nothing to play, that is good. Seeing things unseen. It's an asset, an item. Powder of Ibn Ghazi enters play with X clues on it, where X is the number of characters who survived the Dunwich legacy in your campaign log. Oh, that's quite a few, isn't it? We've got Morgan, we've got Zebulon, and so that's 3, I think. So it gets 3 on it. Good. Free action, move 1 clue from the Powder of Ibn Ghazi to an exhausted brood of Yog-Sothoth at your location. Oh. Right, we'll put that with those over there. So whoever we give Henry to, we'll give the concoction to as well. Good God. Right, who's next? Professor Warren Rice. He has been sacrificed, so we can move on from that. Dr. Francis Morgan, he's fine. He is in Daisy's deck, so let's have a read. Thank you for everything you've done, Dr. Morgan says, taking count of your provisions and ammunition. Last time we needed some of that strange powder Armitage concocted to even see the beast that terrorised Dunwich. If there's more of those things out there, we're going to need that powder. I think I remember how he made it. Well, you're alright because we've got Henry with us, Francis, so you can chill out. In the campaign log, record that Dr. Francis Morgan survived the Dunwich legacy. If the Dr. Francis Morgan card is not already in an investigator's deck, it is. It's in Daisy's, so yes, we can ignore that. If the Powder of Ibn Ghazi card is not already in an investigator's deck, it will be, because we're going to put it with Henry, so that's fine. What's next? If Zebulon Whately is not listed under Sacrifice to Yog-Sothoth, no, Zebulon managed to get away with it. Oh, way up. Got to go into the accent. Dunwich has had its fair share of oddities, Zebulon explains to you with a quavering voice. But I ain't ever seen anything as sick and twisted as this thing. He gives the creature's remains one last second glance before closing the door to the chamber behind him, shuddering. He locks eyes with you, his expression grim. Whoever done this gotta pay. I'll do all I can to help. So, in your campaign log, record that Zebulon Whately survived the Dunwich legacy. Anyone investigator may choose to add Zebulon Whately's card to his or her deck. It does not count towards that investigator's deck size. So we'll decide on Henry and Zebulon, and this must be Earl. Yeah, poor old Earl. Unlucky son. You didn't make it. So there we go. Right, that is the survivors dealt with. We've got Henry and we've got Zebulon. I'll have to make a decision on where they're going to go. I think I'll probably give them to Zoe. Daisy's got quite a lot of allies as it stands. And yeah, I think I'll give those to Zoe. So they've done pretty well, the girls there. They've done fantastic. They've killed Silas Bishop. They've got 4 victory points, so that's cool. I thought I was only going to get 2. So that's really cool. And we've managed to get out of Dunwich, for the moment, pretty unscathed. So that's all right. Okay, it's a bit of a bummer about Earl and Professor Rice, but c'est la vie. And it's just the way it goes. So we managed to kill Silas. Would have preferred to have picked up all the clues and got another resolution whereby the Necronomicon comes into play, and it's much better resolution, but we were unable to do that. Couple of reasons for that. One, all the monsters started coming out all at once. What did we get? 5 or 6 in the last 2 rounds just coming out. As I said earlier, you know, you need a nice spread of the monsters, and we didn't get any at the beginning. And that was bad. And of course, the other thing that scuppered it for us as regards picking up the clues was we didn't find the hidden chamber until the very last card. It was the very last location we looked at. So, you know, if we'd found it a bit earlier, I mean, you still get a load of clues on the location because you have to, you know, reveal the others and put all the clues onto it. But finding it earlier, it would have given us more time to pick up the clues, and perhaps we could have done it. But, yeah, the loss of time in actually finding the hidden chamber and then getting all these monsters coming out, it's just, yeah, it just meant we couldn't do it. But fortunately, we managed to kill Silas Bishop, and, yeah, I think I made the right decision there. We'd be in a real pickle now if I'd gone the other way. How Zoe would have killed all these monsters, I don't know. Yes, I think we'd have ended up, you know, having to run for the village commons and resign, and not getting any of the victory points or anything. But as it is, we've done okay. Right, what to do now? Well, I suppose pack this away and then get ready for Undimensioned and Unseen. So that is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the likes and dislikes. Thanks for all the views and the subscriptions. And thank you for all the help and support. As ever, if I've made an error somewhere, please point it out. I'll do my best to fix it. It's the end of the scenario, but during the next one, we'll see if we can, you know, balance something out as in regards to trying to fix something. I might not be able to do it. I might. We'll see. Hopefully, I haven't made too many errors, but doubtless I've made at least one. But yes, we'll see. I'm sure you will point them out to me, and thank you for doing so. Anybody who's watching this over at Board Game Links, thank you very much. And exactly the same to anybody who's watching it at BGG on the video threads over there. Any comments here, there, anywhere, thank you. And, you know, Geek Gold, all that sort of stuff, likes, yeah, thank you. You are most kind. So that is it for Blood on the Altar. Next up will be Undimensioned and Unseen. I don't know whether we're going to use Jenny and Agnes or we are going to use Zoe and Daisy. The thing is, with getting the Powder of Ibn Ghazi and stuff like that, it does make it, you know, it would be ideal for these two to go again. But I would like to give Jenny and Agnes a fair crack of the whip, so I'll have to have a think about that. I'll also have to have a think about Zebulon and Henry. I think they're going to go to Zoe, but next time, obviously these two come out, you'll see who I've allocated them to, but probably Zoe, I think. Yes, so thanks for watching. That is it for episode 31. I do hope you'll join me for episode 32 and the next scenario. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.